Hi my lovies, I'm here under a beautiful hawthorn tree and this is my imagination and my wonder and my answer, I suppose, to all the questions that I've been asking. And you know, I've been asking, who are the Áos Sí, who are our ancestors, who are the fairies? And then I realise they're storytellers. And their stories are our stories. And what if they never wanted their stories to stop? Like, what if they, because every generation added a new bit to these stories. It wasn't just, that's the end. Their stories are our stories. So my idea is how we become closer to our ancestors and to nature is just to continue on with their story. Like, say, the salmon of knowledge. That's such a beautiful, beautiful story. What if they never wanted the story to end there? What if they wanted us to continue it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell the first part of the story told by our ancestors, that's all in our DNA and which we've carried forward all these years for a reason. So the salmon of knowledge is an absolutely beautiful story. Let's just imagine what would happen in today's world and what the salmon of knowledge would be in today's world. So I'll tell you about, and now guys, you can change it. This is our story. So, and I think if we truly want to become one with nature, is we have to just continue on in our own words. And because we're there now, I feel it. And like our salmon of knowledge, it's still the same, but it's a different kind of, like, just a continuation. What happened? But anyway, I'll tell you the old story of the salmon of knowledge. And it's a really, really beautiful one. And it's my whispers of the wild. And the Irish word for the salmon of knowledge is an bradán fasa, which I love. So just listen and, maybe we'll begin to hear nature again by just listening to the stories and then listening to how we can continue on with them. And maybe we might find more answers that way. So long, long ago, when the River Boyne curved gently through the green heart of Ireland, 9 ancient hazel trees stood upon its banks. Every autumn, their crimson nuts ripened beneath the stars. When the time was right, they fell, one by one, by one, by one, by one, by one, breaking the river's stillness with the softest kiss. The water carried them into the deep, where a single salmon waited. This was no ordinary salmon. This was the bradán fasa, the salmon of all knowledge. And with each hazelnut it swallowed, it gathered another fragment of the world's wisdom. The flight of swans, the language of ravens, the turning of the heavens, the rhythm of the tides, the names of every wildflower and how they can help us that were waiting underneath the earth just before spring. Until one day, the salmon carried within itself all the wisdom of the world and the universe. Many searched for it, the kings, the warriors, the poets, the druids, but wisdom has never belonged to those who chase it. Far upstream, an old poet named Finnegas waited beside the Boyne, not for days, not for months, but for 7 whole years. And beside him was a little boy who studied with him, Fionn McCummel. Then, one evening, as the sky blushed with the last colours of the setting sun, the river stirred. Silver broke the surface. The salmon had come. Finnegas caught it and asked Fionn to cook it. But whatever you do, he said. The old poet smiled. Don't taste it. As the salmon roasted above the fire, its skin blistered. Fionn reached out. The heat caught his tongue. Without thinking, he placed it to his lips. In that single moment, the gift passed to him. The wind no longer sounded like wind. The rivers no longer simply flowed. The stars no longer merely shone. Everything had a voice. Everything had a story. And whenever Fionn sought wisdom, he placed his thumb to his mouth and listened, not for answers, but for understanding. And that's where the old storytellers left that one. But what if we continue it on? The salmon of all knowledge. How can we, in today's world, like, what is that salmon? The salmon of all knowledge. So in my next reel, guys, I will tell you my understanding of what the salmon of all knowledge is in our world today. And guys, you can change it around. It's our story. And this is what I'm hoping you can just tell me what you think. But this is my understanding, and this is my way of continuing on our ancestors' stories and maybe learning, about them even more, and just realizing that we're all one. Okay guys, thanks a million. Bye bye.